Fam, the time is now. Festival goers unite. Welcome to the Festiie Files, where we highlight the creative and inspiring personalities that each contribute to what we call the music festival experience. So if you're watching this at home and you're someone that attends festivals, somebody in the crowd, somebody behind the scenes, the person providing the beat, or the person that just spent $10 on a slice of pizza, you're each contributing to the festival experience. My name is Desmond Beristain, CEO and founder of Festiie, the Festival Smart Band. And today we get the double whammy. We got the saucy boy over here. He lost his sauce, but he found it. Sriracha Man, Aaron Nguyen. And you might have heard of this other guy. He, his pits stay fresh. His pits stay clean. So fresh and so clean himself. He loves raving. He loves dubstep. He loves good hygiene. He's the founder of the FreshRaver. He's also the deodorant guy. Ladies and gentlemen, FreshRaver. FreshRaver, welcome to the Festiie Files.
What up? Thanks for having me, man.
Fresh.
I'm up here quarantining in space, so I thought I would chime in from the Star Wars.
Hey, even space needs deodorant, right?
Oh yeah,
It's
gets up there too.
Yeah, so let's get right into it today, guys. You know what, Aaron, we've all heard your story, which is amazing and inspiring, and then Aaron recommended, he's like, we got to reach out to FreshRaver. So let's just start. Let's get into it. FreshRaver, tell us your story. What got you into music festivals, and what got you, running around with a stick of deodorant, or at least sticks of deodorant?
So I got into festivals late. Honestly, I was like 25 years old when I went to my first festival. And it was my first like big festival. I went to a couple small festivals that are like a couple hundred people, like really underground type of festivals. I don't know if you've heard of Unifier.
Unifier, have not heard of Unifier. Tell us about it.
It's like, at the time, it was like a 300, 400 person festival. It's like very, I'll have to send you information. It's kind of hard to explain. Have you been to Shambhala?
No.
Okay. For me, it was like a small, like Shambhala was like a big version of that. So it's hard to explain Shambhala if you haven't been there. That's probably what you'll have people tell you if they've ever been to Shambhala. But it's a similar situation. It's hard to explain unless you've been there. So, but that was the first one, and then I went to another one. It was a psytrance festival. It was called Fractal Fest. It was also,
I know about Fractal Fest. Yeah.
I think it's a little bigger now, but at the time this was like 5 years ago. So it was I think in its second or third year, if I remember correctly. And then I met someone there, and he was like, "Dude, you got to go to like bigger festivals. I'm going to Mysteryland like next month. You got to come with me." And it was my birthday, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going. I love festivals. This is great. Like, if you say that's even better, I'm there." So I rented. It was my birthday, and I rented an RV. And I went with my dog. We drove from Boston to New York. It's the same venue where they have Woodstock,
nice.
that venue. And we went there, and it was like the craziest experience. My first big festival was 2016, I think.
Nice.
That's how it all started. And then actually I took a year off after that festival. I didn't go to a festival again until 2017 or even 2018, and 2018 was the year that the whole deodorant thing kind of blew up. So I started going to a bunch of festivals in 2018. I think I went to like 12. Like I just like fell in love with it. And while I was going to festivals, obviously the smell was a component that always, honestly, it bothered me more for me, like my smell. Like I noticed that I would smell bad, like obviously throughout the day or throughout the festival. So I started bringing deodorant with me. Probably, I think the first time I did it was EDC Las Vegas in 2018. And someone I was with asked me for deodorant, and I was like, I honestly, I didn't want to share with them because, so the next day, I ended up sharing with them. It was fine. But the next day, what I did, I ended up bringing 2 sticks of deodorant. So if someone would see me applying and they'd be like, "Oh, can I get some?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I got a community stick." So that's how it all started. My buddy was like the first person to get me to apply deodorant on them. at EZoo later that year. So that was the first time I actually put deodorant on someone else rather than them putting it on themselves. And then EZoo was like a month before Lost Lands, and then I think I was doing it again to the same group of Freds, and that's how that video kind of came about.
That's hilarious. And then when did they dub you officially FreshRaver?
So I kind of dubbed that myself, and that was after the video came out, because what happened was, you know, the video was getting millions of views, and people were trying to find me, you know, like, who the hell is this guy? So they would find my Facebook, and my Facebook was pretty much all personal and family related, had nothing to do with festivals. So
Yeah.
it didn't seem like a good kind of place to guide random people. So I just kind of was like, I need to find another place to drive people to, you know, if people are curious, I want to engage with people in the scene. And you know, I found out that, you know, why not create like an Instagram page like other people have that's rave related. So I came up with FreshRaver as the username, I guess, at the time.
That's awesome, dude. We need to get this guy an Old Spice. Old Spice, we're shouting you out. This guy needs a sponsorship right here. He's the freshest in the game right now, literally. So
honestly, I like Old Spice, and I really like Dove too. So I'll take a Dove sponsorship if they're listening to it too.
there it is. There it is. The bidding has begun. So Sriracha Man, how did you guys meet?
We met, so how I heard about FreshRaver, like, you know, how everyone says, because I'm pretty sure we went to the same year where he blew up at Lost Lands, but we didn't meet there. But like after that, you know, on the Facebook page, just everywhere, I've been seeing like FreshRaver, like, man, we gotta meet him, we gotta collab, we gotta do everything together. So I reached out to FreshRaver, and I think Beyond Wonderland 2019 was the first event that we officially met, or that we started hanging out more. And then after that, we went to EDC together on 2019. He camped with my group. And then Lost Lands, he introduced me to his Rave fam, and I got to stay with his group for Lost Lands. So like, I'm really grateful for Kareem showing me to his Rave fam. Like, everyone there is fucking amazing. We had such a great time this year. Like, man, we fucking did a lot.
That's awesome, man. That's yeah, it's and you know, right now obviously everyone's staying at home, so we're not able to physically be around our rave fam, right? But that doesn't mean that the festival spirit is put on hold. We still gotta, you know, uplift each other, continue to elevate, continue to self-reflect. Well, talk about what FreshRaver, talk about what the music festival experience and community has done for you personally.
Do you mean like in this time or in general?
Let's do both. Let's do both.
Okay. Well, honestly, you know, before all this, the music, you know, festival community was really a great way to get out of kind of like the real world, you know, day to day. You know, for me, I have a job that kind of, it's very intensive in terms of hours it takes for me. So, you know, it was a very good way to release all that stress, all that negative energy that built up throughout the week, all that anxiety, depression, any sort of mental, you know, wear down. And then you come out, you know, I love the music, but honestly, I love all types of music. You know, people say I love everything except country. I love everything, and I could even, you know, enjoy a country song. It's a good one. So it's really like, I like music in of itself. I can find, you know, great things in classical, you know, rock, pop, anything. I can find a way to enjoy it. But the music festival scene itself is a little different for me in that it's a lot more about the energy and, you know, the vibe that you get from the people that you're with. So it's different than going to any other event that's a different genre, because you're dealing with people, and, you know, not all people are in the same type of mindset. And I think I really like the mindset that everyone is in the music festival community. So that really gave me a place where I could come and, you know, release and express myself in a way that, you know, you're not holding back because, you know, you're with people at work or with people that, you know, you don't know if you can, you know, be your true self or whatever. So it became a place where you could really get weird and do really weird stuff, and no one thinks twice about it. It's this environment that, like I said, it's not just about the music, it's really more about the people, where everyone's doing kind of being themselves. And that's a place that really allows me to kind of release that kind of anxiety build up and say, oh, this is who I am, release all that stuff out. And then, you know, kind of, obviously you have to go back to the real world at some point, so it kind of builds up again. But it was a good kind of ebb and flow of like, you know, build up and release to help me get.
Hey, Fresh. Sorry to pause you quick, Des. Hey, Fresh, when it comes to real life and raving, like, how do people feel about you being FreshRaver to the people that know you in your like normal work life?
Like the people in my work knowing about FreshRaver?
Yeah.
No one really knows about it.
Nice, nice.
It's like, obviously it's not something I talk about at work. Some people know about, like, let me put it this way. No one saw the video at work. So it never came up from that perspective. They know I go to like a lot of festivals and stuff like that, but that's pretty much it. I don't think a lot of people I work with are older, like probably
Mm.
older 50. So it's not something, you know, that they relate to, so it doesn't come up as much, fortunately.
It's
But
Gotcha,
like
gotcha.
your Clark Kent, you know what I
yeah,
mean? You're
yeah,
Clark Kent at
exactly.
work, you're like, you know, doing your
Fresh Clint.
thing. And then you hear about Lost Land, it's like, oh God, all right, guys. Dun,
Oh
dun.
man, I have the suit and I'm ripping it off, you know, I'm ready to go.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I mean, so that's great, and I feel like that's the thing about the festival community. It's really a judgment-free zone, and you know, a lot of people look towards that, and that's why it becomes a sanctuary, and we treat it that way. So, you know, of course, right now, obviously, us not physically being able to be there, how are you still finding comfort? Or, you know, if you're having a good day, how are you comforting others during these times and still staying connected to that, you know, very important piece of who you are?
Yeah, so it's been challenging, to be honest, in this time. It hasn't been as easy as um I'd hope. So I've had to find different ways to kind of get that release for me personally that I need. So I've been doing, you know, exercise and, you know, different types of, you know, mindfulness activity, breathing exercise. I've been relying more on that than I normally have. So that's been good personally. But on the side of just like the engagement with the community and whatnot, still trying to grasp that and, you know, capture that essence. It's really about you know, I've found my way to kind of engage with people is I've been focusing on a lot more content related to the festival community. So I've been trying to put out content either related to raving or being stuck in quarantine, and more so being stuck in quarantine as a raver. Right now, I'm actually working on a Kendrick Lamar parody. It's instead of it's called you know, the song "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe." It's
Yeah.
actually called "Bitch Don't Kill My Rave." And it's about the coronavirus killing the rave and being sad at home. So, you know, I'm finding different ways to kind of try and express myself, and then, you know, present that content to, you know, the community. And then, you know, there are a couple of funny videos I put out, and people were like, "This made my day a lot better," like, or, you know, I was having a really bad day, and all of a sudden I was laughing. And so I think that's kind of important, that we need to, you know, engage each other from home, because, you know, you don't know who's having a tough day or who's, you know, having, you know, issues. And these shows were, like I said, especially for me, but I know for other people, a release. So you got to find other ways to get that release, and whether it's through, you know, exercise, mindfulness, or through just laughing at a funny video online from people that you know. So that's, you know, what I've been trying to do in terms of you know, engaging people to give that little essence of what it was. But I'm gonna be honest, it's not the same. It's really tough. Just I haven't seen anybody's face other than, you know, going to the supermarket for 7 weeks. So it's just it's a little tough here. But, you know, I think we'll get through it, and then I think we'll appreciate, you know, being together more, you know, through it all. So I think it'll add a level of appreciation and add to that vibe. But yeah, in the meantime, it's really just doing what you need to do to kind of stay, I think, sane at this point.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, you brought it up, like seeing people's faces. For example, like I was having a so-so day, and it was like my birthday, you know, and I'm like, damn, I should be feeling amazing, but it's just hard because you're just used to like around so many people, or you're going to this festival for your birthday, or just doing something epic on that level, and you know, obviously not being able to feel that. But then I got surprised on Zoom by like 15, you know, family members, and then, you know, Sriracha Man called me and sung happy birthday, and it's just like, it's so trippy, but that literally uplifted my spirit. Like I could feel it, like it changed how I was feeling. And that's what the rave, you know, community and the festival community does. And that's the outlet that it provides. We're doing our best, right? We're all in this together. You can jump online, and I saw like your story yesterday on Instagram. You were, you know, looking at some live streams,
Yep.
which that has been, you know, that's pretty helpful. The EDM community really jumped on that and was able to just throw things out. Couchlands, right, a few weeks ago, were just able to recap Lost Lands from different angles, if you know, and relive that in a sense. So just certain things like that.
It's the little things, and it's really just it's the way I like to think about it. No one would ever be happy if this was going to be the way life was going to be forever. You know, this you know, I think it's basically a good kind of like, you know, where there's something going on, we know it's coming back, but in the meantime, we need to hold each other up, right? We need to kind of get through us, because, you know, I know personally, I have a lot of friends with a lot of mental illness and whatnot. And, you know, it's those little things that get you out of that funk, right? Especially when you're there. So it's really important, I think, to have that constant engagement through this time, where, you know, like that Zoom surprise, that my birthday's coming up in June. I hope that we can go back out by then, but that's fucking awesome. Like that it doesn't get better than that, you know? So it's really those moments that I don't think you necessarily get from other communities, and you know, that I think ultimately will help us get through this a lot easier than probably other people.
For sure. And as you mentioned it, like, hopefully, you know, we're back out there soon. We will be back out there sooner than later, you know, fingers crossed. But you also brought up a really good topic, and you mentioned mental health. And I feel like right now we're all at home, right? We love festivals. We want to be back out there. Now, what we got to do is really self-reflect, right? And see, well, how can we make it a better place, a better community, uplift when we get back out there, right? So whether it's throwing away our trash, whether it's understanding that if I'm at a festival and I see somebody, you know, on the side by themselves and they don't look like they're okay, I'm going to reach out. I'm going to make sure they're okay. And we've had people on the podcast come and talk about even more controversial things, like, you know, sexual harassment at festivals, right? Like being like, if you're a girl, a female at a festival, what to do if someone gets close to you and you're like, I don't even know this person, or, you know, if sobriety and dealing with that. So this podcast, we've been able to just start talking about those deeper subjects, and let's place a little bit on the mental health side right now, because you mentioned it, you know, festivals are a place where you can go and be yourself and let go of all that social anxiety, and it's okay however you're feeling, and then feel embraced for, you know, what other people might look at it. Oh, what's that person wearing? Oh, why this? Why that? Talk about that journey for that, what you've seen. Aaron, Sriracha, jump in on this too, just from the mental health standpoint, and how festivals have been that therapy for you, because they've definitely been therapy for me as well.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, dealing with you know, depression, and I'm diagnosed bipolar 2, so it's kind of like I have this up and down that I go through. And you know, for me personally, I can speak from my personal experience, and I can speak for other people that I've spoke to, but it's really, you know, you said it, where you can be yourself, and I think that ability to really kind of hone in on who you are. And I think a lot of people don't even know who they are until they're able to try to actually be who they are, right? So it's not a simple question of turning it on and off. It's kind of finding yourself, right? And by being able to kind of get in that, you know, you walk into a festival, okay, I can dress how I want, I can be how I want, I can act how I want, I can say what I want. All right, now what? And then you start doing it, right? And then you start finding, whoa, this is really, you know, who I am here is different than who I am in the real life. And obviously one's real and one's kind of fake. And that ability to be there really, for me personally, helps me kind of be more level. Obviously, you know, if you're not eating right, you're not sleeping right, which a lot of that is happening at a festival, your body starts to get hit from that standpoint. But at the same time, it kind of counteracts itself at the, you know, for me, where I'm getting that mental release, my body's kind of getting hit, but, you know, I'll recover the next week, but I'll still have that mental release there, which is great. So I think that ability to really be who you are and be comfortable, for me personally, allows me to kind of just everything out. Now, it doesn't solve the problem. There's no solution. It's not a problem that's necessarily ever solved. It's more like a managed problem, a problem that you have to manage on an ongoing basis and keep track of, make sure it doesn't get really bad, and try to, you know what things you do that trigger that allow it to be good. Festivals is definitely, you know, one of those things for me. And especially now, since I haven't, it's probably the longest period I've gone without a festival for a while, you know, I really feel that difference. So I think that, you know, like I said, this is me personally, so I can't really speak to everybody, but I know that other people do feel the same way when I've spoken to them about that. So it's really, I think that environment allows less stress on your mind, which allows you to level out if you're having any sort of mental, illness issues.
For sure, man. Thanks for sharing that. We're going deep in the Festiie files, and we're just talking about, these are real feelings, and these are real ways that we, look towards the festival community, from the actual festival grounds to the people that you're around, and how that really does something that extends beyond the festival. He just mentioned it, a whole week after, he still has that mental release, and that's the beauty of festivals. Sriracha Man, you want to shed some light on that as well?
Well, I could shed light on some experience where, let's say, for example, I wouldn't say that I'm like diagnosed with, a serious illness or anything like that. But when it comes to expression, when we go to an event, being able to express yourself in a full range of freedom where I guess you say there's no judgment, people are giving you love, they're accepting who you are. That gives so much comfort to people that, let's say, for example, might have some type of I could say cognitive, illness or something like that, where they, like, let's say, if there's this, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, schizophrenic or something, when they tend to be very, I guess you say, very antisocial. Some people could be very antisocial at events, but when they go to raves or festivals, they feel opposite. They kind of feel like they can be themselves, because I feel like the hardest thing in life is people understanding one another, especially from different backgrounds. So when you don't really understand each other, you kind of presume these things and that. But at a festival, you want to really understand, pretty much everything when it comes to the peace, love, unity, and respect. Because when you go to event space, you got to really respect everyone. Not everyone does, but I think the most important thing is respect, everyone from every walk of life. Because you don't really know what they're going through, what they've been through. So, you got to really be out there for everyone. So, that's from what Kareem says, everyone's here for each other. Everyone has their own problems. And, instead of letting people just handle their problems by themselves, we should all be there for each other and support each other up. And, if we could all do that for everyone, then I think our planet would be a beautiful place. Just, it's all a work in progress, though, I believe.
Yeah. Let's talk about how can we do that from home, right? Is it as simple as just going on someone's Instagram account and commenting, sending some positive vibes that way? Just, hey, you're doing great. I love your work. Because, whether you're creative at home, you're excited about this festival season to get your, artwork out there, whether it's a song, whether it's an art installation or you're vending, whatnot. Is it that simple, right? You could just jump online, comment. You can watch a live stream. You can jump on these like Zoom calls with people. What can we do? Because I feel like right now we are in a bit of a bind, but we've also been known and proven to respond strong and respond in numbers. So there's no doubt that the festival community will find a way. We're already finding the ways with the live streams. And this is early, this is like a month and a half into it. Hopefully we're back out there soon, but we're a creative machine collectively together, but this machine has a lot of feelings, and that's the beauty of it all. So what other creative ways have you guys seen people implementing to keep things going on that positive level right now?
Yeah, I think well, go ahead, actually, Aaron.
Okay, so let's say, for example, me and Kareem, we have a big influence in the scene, and what I always say with people with big influence, you can always use it for positive or negative. There's people out there like Justin Bieber telling people to twerk and all this and that, but what we could really do to spread the community is a positive message of love and peace, where we could be making content that really helps people, reassure their issues, talk about things. Because simple messages, like you said, simple comments and messages really help people. And what I'm trying to work on is make content that talk about self-love, acceptance, just a lot, like communication, just all this type of things. Because with our influence, I feel like we could shine a light on things. Because let's say, for example, me, Aaron, I feel like I could influence a stagnant amount of people, me myself. But as Sriracha Man, I feel like I have such a creative magnified scope to really amplify my voice out there. So some people say, I'm like clout chasing or whatever, this and that, but truly, honestly, what I'm really trying to do is build my stuff up where I have a lot of influence, where I could spread my message out globally, and in turn, give people something they could really follow in a positive light. So that's what I'm doing right now is, making good content, working on myself. And, too, for example, me, Kareem, we both got equipment to produce music. So we want to get into the music scene where, we establish ourselves and, find our own journey in music and finding ourselves. Because, like, every day, even if we like to believe that we know ourselves, we find ourselves more and more as we go in life. And, I'm so lost in the sauce trying to find myself. So, I'm doing my best to be my best self for everyone else because, I want to be able to give the world my best and, like tell me how I can help you guys. So, help me help you type of thing,
Yep.
I think, outside of me, because I already mentioned, the things I'm trying to do in terms of, just any sort of funny ideas to cheer people up or make people think. So I've been doing stuff like that. But outside of, what I'm doing, I think, what people could do in general, like for instance, I think it's just about us really being creative and coming up with ideas, right? That fit the environment that we're in. And, I see new ideas coming up every day, some good, some bad, some really good. And, for example, I just saw like a video online of a bunch of people in their cars in a big parking lot. I don't know if you guys saw that video.
Yeah. Aaron sent me that.
There was a big DJ and everyone, had their windows shut. They were all lined up. Like it looked like it was really organized. Apparently they're having like a festival where everyone stays in their car in Europe. I think that's a great idea. It's, no one's getting sick, but you're still kind of getting closer to that aspect of, where you were. And I think it's important to find that kind of normalcy, like, especially if this could be extended even longer than what they're telling us. It's not, maybe things will open up, but we don't know when festivals will come back because those are very big congregations of people. So it's with that in mind, I think it's important to be creative and find ways to get that sense of feeling back that we had as a community, where obviously we still haven't. It's great that we have this technology like Zoom to, I don't know what we would do without all this, right? Even just simple inventions like the phone go a long way. But it's I think if we get creative, we can find ways to kind of really step it up and take it to the next level where we can really all kind of, it's just about inching back closer and closer to there until things open up again. And I think that's where we put our minds together and figure out ways. Yeah, I think writing a comment of encouragement, even for me, I get lots of comments on my post. You have no idea. Even any comment of encouragement makes me feel a lot fucking better throughout the day. Yeah. So I know it works for other people too. But I think that if we figure out, I saw that video. I want to do something like that here in the U.S. I think that was in Europe that the video of the thing was. So I think that if we put our minds together, that's when we're going to really find some really creative ways to come together.
Awesome. Yeah, that's literally what we got to do, everyone. Like I said, we're in this together. We're coming up with ways, and that was cool. It was like the whole thing where everyone's in their cars, and then I don't even know how they did that, but they did it, and it was almost like a drive-in. It's like a drive-in rave, right?
That was like a show. A guy was on turntables at the front of the parking lot, spinning loud music. Yeah. So I don't know, and it's honestly, I don't know. We'd have to kind of revert to the professionals and see if that's actually a smart idea or not. But at the same time, the point is that people are getting creative, right? And not all ideas will work out, but we got to put all the ideas out there to figure out. Live streams were great. Now I'm seeing different types of live stream, like Bass Nectar. He wasn't even live stream. He just threw in a mix and some dope visuals. That's a different idea. So people are trying different things to get us closer to where we were. And I think that's what we can do right now is really just, let's think, what can we do that fits, that's safe, but at the same time will give us, what we need in terms of release, in terms of engagement, in terms of, community.
Yep. And then when we get back out there, so it might take some time, but who knows, like just because we have been kind of, festivals have been taken away from us for a while in the physical standpoint, when we get that chance, finally, it might be a year and a half or so, but when we're back out there and able to congregate in larger numbers, I mean, now we're going to be dealing with a new incoming class of festival goers and ravers, right? Or maybe two classes in one, because the people that were going to go to all the festivals this year. And then I personally think you're going to have old time festival goers coming out of retirement, like, nah, I got to go back out there one or two more times and have fun and just bestow upon the next generation whatever knowledge and vibes I have to give. So that's the awesome part about it. And Aaron, we have about 8 minutes left on this Zoom. Are there any? You said you wanted to ask us a couple plur questions, right? So I'll pass it to you.
Awesome. Fucking love that you. I was about to like break into it, but I fucking love that you set me up for that. All right, so it's not gonna be the exact same questions, a little turn up and twist. But one of them that's remains the same is in this current present moment and in the future, what are some tips that we give the community and world to make it a better place? I'll be asking that to both of y'all. But we'll start off with you, Desmond, and then I'll have the star of the show, Kareem, afterwards.
Cool. So you said, what can we do just to make the world a better place?
Or what are some tips that we give the community and world to make it a better place now and in the future?
Got it. I think we need to embrace all genres of music, right? That's one thing I saw last year where it was like the hip hop festival that happened in Miami. It's slipping my Rolling Loud, and then they clash with like I think Ultra or whatnot. But then it's like, dude, we gotta look past that. Like we are all people that love music. We love the vibe. We love getting together and celebrating it together, right? And so we need to look past that because you'll have festivals such as Coachella or, as you mentioned, like Bonnaroo or these festivals that integrate everything, and then they even integrate tech, and it's like it's epic. And I think we all have a story about a festival that we've attended, and at the festival, like we were walking from one stage to another stage, and then you just hear a roar of a crowd from somewhere else. It was never on your set list schedule, and you're like, man, I gotta go check that out. And then you always come back from the event like, damn, I heard about this artist, I heard about this artist, I heard about this artist. And it doesn't really matter what genre. And like, even if you're, I'm heavy and I'm into, house, then all of a sudden I'm like, yo, but I don't care. This dubstep artist is killing it. I need to be part of that. And that's the whole thing. Like, we got to just learn to embrace everything for what it is. There's so many different ways. So that's one tip. The other thing I would say is just look out for each other. Look out for each other. Like we just talked about it, and FreshRaver mentioned it. Like we all go through days. Some days are better than others. And when you're going through a good day, you know what? Someone else might not be going through that same good day. But to give your thanks for having that good day is reach out to someone, do something nice, something cool. Just pass that positivity around because, yes, he just said it. Like that comment, of saying like, dude, epic video, good job. Like that has an effect. And then it makes him feel good. And then he's going to pass that to someone else. And then all of a sudden, now it's a domino. And that's what the whole community, festival community is about. Even if you don't understand it, you can understand that it's a ton of people in one location and we're all elevating and feeling good. And it's contagious in a good way, right? In a good way. That's the only type of virus we want to spread is that positivity, you know what I mean? And the uplifting. So those would be the tips I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Well said. Well said. For
me, it's I don't know if I'll piss people off or anything like this, but by saying this, but the one thing like it's not a tip, but kind of like something that not concerns me, but concerns me with certain people, and I think it's just kind of bleeding into the culture a little bit more. Is I don't mind people who do drugs and do them in a safe way and they know in moderation. But I think that there's especially people coming to the culture now that are specifically coming for the drug-based culture, and it reminds me of kind of like in college, the guy who brags about how many beers he could drink, mm-hmm. right? And it's just like, I drink alcohol, but I'll never brag about how much I could drink because honestly, I don't give a fuck. And that's really the essence of substances, and doing it in a safe way where you're not bragging about it or overdoing it. And I think that I see there's more and more, especially people coming that are new to the scene, that are here like, oh, how much Molly can I take, or can I take a 10 strip of acid, or like kind of like it's like a competition for how much you can do in drugs. And I think it's okay that drugs are there, or substances in general are there to amplify the effect, but when it becomes the focal point of it, I think that that's where you start to lose a little bit of the value of the community that's there. So I think that, and this is something I haven't even felt comfortable about speaking out to people when I see it like in my friend group or anything like that, where people are really like it becomes this competition of like how much you could do. And I think that really misses the point on the community and people, you know, if obviously that there are people with substance abuse issues and blah, blah, blah. But I think that as a community, my advice would be is, as a culture, if we could I never want to say eliminate substances. I love getting, you know, high and drunk and stuff like that. It's more so just making it so there's not as much of an emphasis on it. It's more of a add-on than the focal point. Like I think the best example of an expression is that, oh, I'm gonna go see music at the drug festival, and you know, people laugh when they hear that kind of like meme or whatever. But for some people, it's really real, and I think that it needs to come back where it's not about a music festival or a drug festival. It's really about a community coming together, and that's what it's about, you know. And then there's music there, you know, there's probably drugs there, but it's not the focal point.
For sure. That you just mentioned it, and you know, we have to. There's this common misconception, right, with festivals. Oh, you're just gonna go and act wild, and you even said it yourself. You're like, man, I go to these events, and you know, sometimes I don't want to just post it on Facebook because now you have, you know, this person and this person seeing it, and that might be from a business relationship or a more professional relationship as opposed to the festival space. But hey, kids, stay tuned. We got some stuff in the works to make that happen so that we can keep the festival network united and growing together. And the thing is, there are so many beautiful people, hardworking people that care about the community, care about the world in the festival community, right? And that gets overlooked. And that's why, you know, with these podcasts, we're trying to shed that light on everyone. Since we're running out of time, guys, but thank you so much. Kareem, how can we find you? How can we stay in touch with the freshest?
I'm at FreshRaver on everything except TikTok. They kicked me off, so I had to make a new account, fresh.raver. So that's the only thing. But all social medias, I'm at FreshRaver if you want to look me up and stay connected. Say hi. You know, I'm always engaging. So
awesome. And Aaron, how can we stay connected with you?
You can find me on Instagram, SrirachaManSaucy_. The hardest part is actually spelling sriracha. So just pull up a bottle. You just have to pull up a bottle and spell it SRRACHA.
First thing you asked me was, how do you spell sriracha? And I spelled it wrong. And he's like, really? And I'm like, it doesn't sound like that.
Like 20 seconds, sriracha. You want to chug us out of here?
Morning chug. It's 8 a.m. for him.
Until the call ends.
Peace, love, unity, and respect, ladies and gentlemen. FreshRaver, Sriracha Man, legendary, epic, Festiie Files, signing out.
Bro.
Yes. That's a good way to end it. Are you okay?
I've been worse. Oh my God.
Never check sriracha before 9 a.m.
There it is, folks. Festiie Files signing out. Peace, love, and respect. That's FreshRaver and the sauciest.